Season 1 of Cold War has left one of the most interesting tastes in my mouth for a COD DLC release. There's a lot of hope, bitterness, and just pure old-fashioned crap. But that's to be expected with any game. And it's really how this non-edible pie is all divided up that really matters. And for this season's launch, I think there's enough of each ingredient to go around, especially when you add in the launch content as well. For the most part, I try to be middle of the road when it comes to gaming development and the industry as a whole because I understand that these devs are just people and they can't live up to the ideas, hopes, and dreams of the hardcore gamer. I understand that launches can be sloppy, guns can be broken, maps can be buggy. I get all of that. I really do. But here's my question. Why are Treyarch titles always the most controversial Call of Duty games? Why is this beloved developer always the one that ends up screwing us so much? I let the loot box microtransactions slide by with Black Ops 3 because I was so smitten with the zombies mode, I barely even realized what was happening. I believed all the drama surrounding Activision cutting Treyarch's development time with Black Ops 4, letting the broken mess of a game along with their fully working in-game shop sit inside my PlayStation 4 for a whole year without getting too heated. But now, in 2020, with Cold War, there is officially a pattern. There is no way this behavior can be entirely blamed on Activision, and while I am very certain it is not all of the devs' fault at Treyarch either, there has to be some executive team working there in tandem with Activision calling the shots to make sure that we are getting less for more. If you were just here for the answer to this mini Season 1 review, well, here it is. The first content drop from Cold War is the most dishonest DLC release since Black Ops 4 and truly shows how they're prioritizing the wrong things with their game. While I know businesses need to make a profit, you should at least first make sure your base product launch is full of content and fully functional before adding more into it. Not only did Treyarch fail to do that, but they neglected the zombies community specifically by underserving them and removing content. Now that's the short of it, but if you're interested in more, stick around for the entire video. This video is sponsored by my cat. Are you tired of snuggling in bed all alone, or hell, even with a gross woman? Disgusting. Yuck. Well, get a cat. He will mess up your favorite chair and even crap all over your floor. For just 9 easy payments of 3,000 COD points, he could be yours. Call the number below. Let's start off with zombies here since it's my favorite mode, and we're going to get into exactly what Treyarch decided to do with DLC 1, aka Season 1. Jingle Hells is an absolute joke of a game mode. It is exactly what the zombies community said it was going to be, a slightly reskinned version of Die Maschine with just zombies in Christmas attire. And let's pretend for a second that the zombies community actually loved the mode, which they don't. Why did Treyarch remove features from the map? They removed the ability to do the main quest, all side Easter eggs, even the ability to go into the Dark Ether after you open up Pack-a-Punch. Why? There is not any fun zombie gear in the battle pass either, nor are there cool rewards to be earned for the general zombie community because the real reward is a blueprint in Onslaught that is hidden behind exclusivity. And this is actually a great transition to talk about the Onslaught mode itself. For those of you who don't know, Onslaught is a PlayStation exclusive mode only, so if you own an Xbox or a PC copy of Cold War, you can't play it or earn any of the rewards for the game mode. But I wouldn't worry too much because it is a terribly unreplayable mode. I only play it one time or however many times to grab the weapons blueprint reward, and then I move on. In fact, Jingle Hells should have been exclusively for Onslaught or some variant of it because it makes more sense for Onslaught. The holiday themed multiplayer maps, the presents dropping, the snowmen zombies popping out. I have had better rewards from the holiday mode Onslaught than I have from regular Onslaught. And listen, I know this would have made the community mad not to bring Jingle Hells to the whole zombies mode, but trust me, Holiday Onslaught plays way better than Jingle Hells on Die Maschine with the same mechanics. What is most unfortunate about all of this abysmal content is that the update made the gameplay worse. There is a frame rate issue that causes the game to spike up and down between 10 to 60 frames per second. The game crashes on high rounds, the Hellhounds jump from across the map and one-shot you, the Megatons are slamming you even though you are seemingly far enough away from them, and last but not least, Pack-a-Punch is removing attachments from your weapons, and there are numerous other bugs with people losing their weapons from random glitches and simply just playing the game. And you might be saying to yourself, Alex, these can be patched, man. Well then I ask you, when will they be patched? All of these problems have been happening since launch except for the Pack-a-Punch issue and the frame rate issue. Those are brand spanking new, but everything else has been a problem problem since the beginning of the game's inception. It would be nice, with the little content that we have, to at least play it properly. Now on to the meat and potatoes of Cold War, multiplayer and Warzone. I think the updates for Warzone and multiplayer are actually really great, and I'm enjoying them a lot so far, especially multiplayer this year as a whole. And normally I don't enjoy multiplayer, and I'm actually finding myself playing it a lot. The maps they have added are super fun, the battle pass is cool, the Warzone map awesome, the gunfight mode is really sweet, and I've been enjoying all of these new updates. But it's unplayable. I can't find a match. I've spent over 10 minutes waiting to find a lobby before I finally gave up, and this has happened multiple times. It's actually what you're about to be seeing on screen. COD has nearly been a franchise for 20 years, and I just have a few questions to ask them about their game development process. How are the new guns so unbalanced? Why is the frame rate dipping so low, even freezing? Why is the hit detection broken? Why is aim assist acting up? Why am I connecting to people in South America? How are these problems still after nearly 2 decades of making the same game over and over? And then after dealing with all of that, fans are thrown into lobbies where everyone just got home from a nice COD MLG practice. And to be fair, I have sucked at COD for a long time, so I have always felt that I'm playing against sweats, so SBMM doesn't bother me that much. In fact, I think it helps me, but I digress. Most of the community fucking hates it. This game is completely broken across the board, and Treyarch has been prioritizing putting in new monetization systems as opposed to fixing the game we've already bought. I mean, the game launched with barely any content. There was a 4-hour campaign, zombies had 1 map and Onslaught, multiplayer had 8 maps, and no, we're not counting Fireteam because it's literally the worst game mode I have ever played. It's basically like Nuketown with a respawn timer. And on top of all of that, Treyarch launched the game with only 29 weapons. And to be real guys, I was okay with all of these issues because of COVID, and the developers had terrible working conditions. It seems Treyarch has been getting the shit end of the stick for the last few games development cycle. But this is the 3rd time this has happened with a Treyarch game, and I just kept giving them a pass and saying I understand because of X, Y, and Z reason. But then Season 1 dropped, and I started digging into the Battle Pass and the in-game shop. We have been lied to repeatedly. We were always saying, hearing, blaming Activision, but there is no way in hell it is Activision alone. Sure, maybe skill-based matchmaking is predominantly an Activision tool, but not the microtransaction system. Every single Treyarch game has had the worst and most unfair monetization practices. Just think back to all of the other COD games and then compare them to Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and now Black Ops Cold War. It has always been a priority of Treyarch to make sure that their store works before their game works. Now, I want to start off by saying that having an in-game shop and a battle pass system is great. I don't mind it at all. In fact, I enjoy it. What I mind is the entire prioritization of putting great content behind your paywall and not having a healthy balance of earnable free content mixed with the paid content. The key word here is balance, because I'm aware there is free content to be earned. The way this game was presented to fans was under the guise of the game launching with little content due to COVID and the devs working from home, as well as the notorious rumors of Treyarch taking over the game's development cycle late in the year because of Sledgehammer and Raven's interworkings not going over so well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but have you ever watched the loading screen to Cold War and you've seen a list of all the developers working on the game? There are around 7 different development teams working on this game at any given time. And I've always wondered, how in the heck did this game launch with such little content when it was basically on course for development minus Treyarch taking over and there being every studio at their disposal other than Infinity Ward? Yet we still launched the game with 1 zombies map, less than a 4-hour campaign, 8 multiplayer maps, and 29 weapons, as well as the entire game being broken and, of course, skill-based matchmaking. Well, to answer my own question, this is why. Behind the paywall, there is approximately $600 worth of content to buy, which includes weapon blueprints, character skins, watches, stickers, emblems, all the works. If you buy the Battle Pass on top of that, you're spending roughly over $700 on content that you can immediately buy from their shop. Well, guess how many gun blueprints there are to buy for the 29 guns that we got at launch? 84 gun blueprints in the shop alone. Yeah, that's right. Now, let's break down the rest of the shop of the Battle Pass. So as I just mentioned, there are 84 weapon blueprints in the shop, as well as 22 operator skins in the shop as well. But for the Battle Pass, there are 2 new weapons, 19 weapon blueprints for your guns, and 12 operator skins, which are all purchasable at $1.50 per tier. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I know there's a ton of stuff to earn in both Warzone and multiplayer, as well as just grinding through the Battle Pass in zombies. I get it, but where was all the extra content at launch? Why are we now getting it behind a paywall? Of course, most of the good stuff is in the shop. That's to be expected. But all of it? And this much of it? 7 studios and publishers deliver a less than complete game at full price and jam all of the good stuff behind the door with the dollar symbol on it. And I'll tell you what the numbers mean, Mason, but you're not gonna like it. We were lied to. We were led to believe that due to COVID, the game would have less content, more issues, and likely be problematic. Not that they ever came out and said that directly, but due to the devs working at home and just plain old rational human understanding, it was a totally fair assumption to believe. But instead, they did the unthinkable, and they sold fans a broken and incomplete game with an entire shop of $700 worth of garbage for you to buy. And Zombies is so incredibly ignored, it's not even funny. There is no excuse to give fans only one map at this point. Instead of working on a survival map or a secondary map for launch or putting resources into Onslaught, they dumped everything into setting up a virtual gift shop for you to walk through on your way out of the Activision amusement park. You may be thinking I'm being unfair or unreasonable because you don't have to buy any of this crap to enjoy their game, and that is true, but the blueprints, the skins, and the new weapons are fun, and I like to enjoy things too, don't you? But more importantly than that, this game has such amazing gameplay, and the foundation for it is just, it's phenomenal. And we are just getting screwed by these companies over and over again. We keep accepting these broken games and then buying into their monetization schemes, essentially telling Activision and Treyarch that it's okay for them to bend us over and fist us. I'm really hoping Treyarch does something great for the Zombies community down the line, as well as addressing skill-based matchmaking for the multiplayer community, because at this point, fans deserve it. We are customers. Treyarch and Activision are not our friends. They are our corporation creating products for us, and they are making things unenjoyable. Something needs to change. Well, now that we got all that positive energy out here in the universe, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed what you saw. Please hit the dislike button if you didn't like what you saw. And whether you agreed or disagreed, leave a comment down below telling me why so that we can further this dialogue. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing and awesome videos that are totally unique and not unoriginal at all. My name is Alex, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.